Hello children, we are in the second chapter, Is Matter Around Us Pure? In the previous video, we learnt about few separating techniques like crystallization, chromatography, centrifugation. In this video, again we will learn about few more separating techniques. Okay, so let us start. So today we'll start with the first separating technique, that is distillation. Separation by distillation. Now what do you mean by distillation? Any idea? So distillation is a process. Okay, it's a process of heating a liquid to form vapors, and then the vapors are cooled to get the liquid back. Okay, so distillation, what happens? A liquid is heated to form vapors, and then the vapors are cooled or condensed to get the liquid back. That is called as distillation. Now distillation is used where it is used for separation of components of a mixture containing two miscible liquids. Okay, so distillation is used for separating two miscible liquids. Now what is the meaning of the term miscible? Miscible means two liquids, when you mix them, okay, they will completely mix with each other, and you cannot differentiate one liquid from the other. They will look same throughout. Okay, such liquids are called as miscible liquids. Okay, so distillation is separation. We can separate two miscible liquids, but they should have sufficient difference in their boiling points. Okay, it means the difference should be more than 25 degrees Celsius. Suppose I have two liquid 1 and liquid 2. So boiling point of the first liquid is 50 degrees Celsius and second liquid is 100. So difference in the boiling point will be around 50 degrees Celsius. So definitely it is more than 25. So such kind of miscible liquids can be separated by distillation. Okay, now we'll just go through an experimental demonstration. Okay, so for this we will use two miscible liquids. One is acetone, another is water. Acetone is nothing but our nail polish remover. So when you mix acetone and water, they will look similar. Okay, they are miscible, they will completely mix with each other, and we cannot differentiate acetone from water. Let us check the difference. Boiling point of acetone is 56 degree and water is 100. Okay, so the difference in the boiling point is 44 degrees Celsius. There is definitely more than 25. Okay. Now this is the setup. Okay, apparatus setup for distillation. Now let us just go through the apparatus. What kind of apparatus are used? So first over here we have round bottom flask, or you can call it as distillation flask. So mixture is taken in this flask. On the top of the flask we have thermometer. Okay. Then we have condenser. Okay, this long tube like thing is called as condenser. Now in this condenser you can see there is a thin glass tube. Okay, inside the condenser there is a thin glass tube. So through this thin glass tube the vapors will pass, and the thin glass tube is surrounded by thick glass tube. You can see it is thick glass tube, and that thick glass tube is called as water jacket. This water jacket has two openings. Okay, so through one opening the water from the tap will be supplied in the water jacket, and through the other opening, okay, the water will be given out with the help of pipe into the sink. Okay, so condenser, inside the condenser we have a thin glass tube. In that glass tube the vapors will pass, and the thin glass tube is covered or surrounded by a thick or a wide glass tube. It is called as water jacket. Okay, water is continuously supplied in this jacket, and then over here there's an outlet from where we can collect the liquid. Okay, by keeping a beaker or a jar we can collect the liquid. Okay, so let us start. Let us see how this distillation works. Okay, so what we will do, we will take a mixture of acetone and water in this round bottom flask or distillation flask. Okay, and start heating the flask. Now remember one thing, the liquid which has less boiling point will turn into vapor first. So over here acetone's boiling point is 56 degrees Celsius, so it will boil first. So start heating the flask. Once the temperature reaches 56 degrees Celsius, that is the boiling point of acetone. So what will happen? The acetone will start forming into vapors. Okay, then these vapors will pass through this condenser, that is the thin glass tube. Now the water jacket, okay, the water that is surrounding this thin glass tube, it will cool the vapors. Okay, the water will cool the hot vapors and it will condense them. It means the vapors will turn into liquid, and that liquid is what we will collect at the end by keeping a beaker. Is it clear? So once the whole acetone distills out or separates out, we can remove the beaker and you can place a new beaker to collect the water. So now again, now in the flask we have only water. So start heating the flask strongly. Once the temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius, that is the boiling point of water, the water will turn into vapors, and that vapors will pass through the condenser. The water will cool the hot vapors and the vapors will condense. It means it will turn into liquid, and that liquid can be collected in a beaker. Okay, so the water which you get from this distillation, it is pure water, and such water is called as distilled water. Okay, so this is how we can separate two miscible liquids. This distillation technique is not only used for separating two miscible liquids, but even we can use it for separating a mixture that contains solid in liquid. Like you can say salt water. So salt water is a mixture which contains salt and water. So even salt water can be separated by distillation method. Now we have learned that we can separate it by using evaporation. But when we evaporate salt water, what is happening? The water is evaporated and that water is lost in the air. So what we get? Only salt. But by using distillation technique, we can recover, we can get both salt and water as well. Okay, so let's see, the setup will be same. So what we'll do, in the distillation flask or round bottom flask, we will take salt water mixture. Okay, and start heating. So once the temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius, that is the boiling point of water, the water will form into vapors. The vapors will pass through the condenser. Okay, in the condenser the water will cool the hot vapors, and the vapor will condense. It means it will turn into liquid, and that liquid can be collected in a beaker. Okay, so in this way, when the whole water distills, we can collect the water. Salt, it will not turn into vapor, so it will remain back in the flask. Okay, so by using distillation or simple distillation method, we can separate components. Okay, we can separate two miscible liquids, or we can separate a mixture containing solid and liquid. Now, but what about two miscible liquids? Okay, how can we separate two miscible liquids where the difference in the boiling point is less than 25 degrees Celsius? So how can we separate such kind of liquids? So for them, we have a technique called as fractional distillation. It is same like our distillation only. So fractional distillation is a process of separating two miscible liquids by distillation, and the components are collected in fractions or in part. Okay, fractional distillation is used to separate mixture of two or more miscible liquids. Okay, and such liquids whose boiling point, difference in boiling point is less than 25 degrees Celsius. Now the only difference between distillation and fractional distillation is one apparatus, that is fractionating column. Now fractionating column, it is a long vertical glass tube. Okay, and this glass tube is either filled with glass beads, or it has glass plates, or it has glass in the form of bubbles. Okay, so the only difference between distillation and fractional distillation is the fractionating column. The column is filled with glass beads. Now what is the use of glass beads? Now this glass beads, it provides more surface for the hot vapors to cool and condense, and fall down, cool and condense repeatedly. Okay, the function or the purpose of glass bead, okay, it provides more surface, okay, more surface for the hot vapors to cool and condense repeatedly. Okay, that is the use of this fractionating column. Now for this we will use two liquids. One is alcohol and water. Even these two liquids are miscible. When you mix alcohol with water, they will completely mix with each other, and you cannot differentiate between alcohol and water. The boiling point of alcohol is 78 degrees Celsius and boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So the difference between them is 22 degrees Celsius. It is less than 25. Okay, so let's see the setup. So this is the setup of fractional distillation. It is similar, but only we have fractionating column. So on the top of round bottom flask, fractionating column is placed. Okay, so first what we will do, we will take a mixture of alcohol and water and pour it in the round bottom flask. Okay, now what we will do, we will start heating the flask. Now as you start, now remember one thing, the fractionating column, it will the whole fractionating column will not have same temperature. The bottom part of the fractionating column, it will be very hot. Okay, it will have high temperature because it is closer to the flame, and the top part of the fractionating column will be cooler. It will have less temperature. Okay, so fractionating column, it will show different temperatures. The bottom will have more temperature and the top part will have less temperature. Okay, keep that in mind. Now what we will do, we'll start heating the round bottom flask. Now as you start heating, once the temperature reaches 78 degrees Celsius, okay, that is a boiling point of alcohol, what happens? The alcohol will start forming vapors. Now remember, when I say 78, it means the top part of the fractionating column is also 78 degrees Celsius. Okay, so when the vapor reaches the top part of the fractionating column, it will pass through the condenser. Okay, it will pass through the condenser. So in the condenser we have this water jacket containing water. That water will cool the hot vapors and the vapors will condense. It means it will turn into liquid, and that liquid can be collected. Now when this alcohol is turning into vapor, okay, so there is hardly any difference in the boiling point. So in case even if water turns into vapor, okay, and starts rising up, so what will happen? Even water, in case even water forms into vapor or forms into steam, and it will rise up. So we know that the top part of the fractionated column is 78 degrees Celsius and the boiling point of water is 100. So for water, that 78 is very less. So when the water vapor will hit the glass beads, okay, when the water vapor will hit the glass beads on the top part of the fractionating column, it will cool because the temperature over there is low for the water. So the water, the vapors, it will cool and they will condense. That means they will turn into liquid and they will fall back into the flask. Is it clear? So when alcohol is turning into vapor, in case if water also starts turning into vapor, what will happen? The vapor of the water will rise. Okay, it will rise and it will reach the top part of the fractionating column. But over there, it will hit the glass beads. The temperature is very low for the water, so it will condense. It will cool and it will condense. It will form into liquid and again it will fall back into the round bottom flask. So at 78 degrees Celsius, only alcohol will distill over. Water will not distill. So once the complete alcohol is taken out or separated, okay, it is distilled out, the alcohol will be separated. Then we can place a new beaker. Again, when the temperature rises to 100 degrees Celsius, the water will form into vapors. That vapors will pass through the condenser. In the condenser, the water will cool the vapors and then they will turn into water. And that water can be collected separately. So this is how fractional distillation works. Now what are the applications of fractional distillation? The first one just now we learned. It is used for separating two or more miscible liquids. Second difference is it is used to separate crude oil, that is raw oil or petroleum, into useful fractions such as kerosene, petrol and diesel. So from petroleum we get kerosene, diesel and petrol. So we can separate these substances by using fractional distillation. It is used to separate gases of air. Now we will study this, how we can separate different gases from air. Okay, we know that air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, argon, helium, etc. We know that in air, the major component is nitrogen. It is present, the percentage, it is 78.03%. The second major component is our oxygen. It contains 20% 0.99%. And the third major component is argon. Okay, it is 0.93%. So we can separate out these gases from air. But what is the use of nitrogen? Nitrogen is used to make fertilizers. Oxygen, it is used in hospitals. The patients, those who have breathing problem, okay, for them we have oxygen cylinders. And then argon. Argon is used in electric bulbs. This we have learned in the first chapter, plasma. Now let's see by which method can we separate gases. The various gases of air are separated by fractional distillation. So we can separate these gases by the method of fractional distillation. Now remember, the different gases, they have different boiling point. So the gas which has low boiling point will boil off first. Okay, and the gas which is having highest boiling point will boil off at the last. So we have nitrogen, it is minus 196, that is the lowest boiling point. Argon minus 186 degrees Celsius and oxygen minus 183 degrees Celsius, and that is the highest boiling point. Now this is the setup. Okay, setup for separation of gases. Now first one, what we do is, the air is filtered. Okay, it is passed through a filter to remove impurities like dust particles. Okay, so once the impurities are removed, the filter air is then passed into a compressor. So in the compressor, the gas is compressed at a very high temperature, that is around 200 atmospheric. Okay, so at a very high pressure, the air is compressed. Okay, then this compressed air is passed into a freezing unit. Okay, so the air is freezed at around minus 200 degrees Celsius. Then this compressed and cold air is passed into a separator. So in this separator, carbon dioxide gas, it will turn into solid and it will form dry ice. So the carbon dioxide gas can be separated in the form of dry ice from this separator. Now once the air is free of carbon dioxide, it is then passed into expansion jet. So in this expansion jet, the air is turned into liquid. Now after that, once the gas turns into liquid, it is then passed into fractional distillation column. So we have a fractional distillation column. In that column, the air is fed. It is passed. Now in this column, fractional column, the air is warmed. It means it is heated. Now the gas which has low boiling point will come out first. So over here nitrogen has less boiling point, so it will come out first. Then followed by argon, and at the last we have liquid oxygen. It will come out at the last. So this is how gases are separated from air. Okay. Let's take a quick recap. So what they do, first the air is filtered to remove the impurities. Then the air is passed into the compressor where the air is compressed at a high pressure. The compressed air is then sent into freezing unit. Okay, the air is cooled. So the cooled and the compressed air is then sent into separator. In the separator, it separates out carbon dioxide in the form of dry ice. And then this air is passed into expansion jet, where this in the expansion jet, it turns into liquid air. Then this liquid air is passed into fractional distillating column. And in that column, what happens? The air is warmed or it is heated slowly. So the gas with the lowest boiling point will come out first, and then the gas with the highest boiling point will come out at the end. Okay. I hope you have understood, children. So today we studied about distillation, fractional distillation. Okay. Thank you.